This video course is about how to turn long Zoom recordings into watchable, fast, categorized video for work or YouTube. In this course, I take an hour-long Zoom, chop it down into 40 minutes, polished, and off free, talk 12% faster, chaptered for YouTube. Then I mark key scenes, consolidate those cuts, and stitch together a preview teaser, and faster than it took to record, you will learn how to make this.
Yeah, we use the Umcheck all the time. It works out very well. It probably picks up another, for an hour-long enablement session, probably picks up another 3 to 4 minutes of stuff that I don't need.
Hey, that stitched function's working fantastic.
I've tried to do.
It literally has saved me hours and hours of editing from my classes. Fantastic. It saves me so much time. It's ridiculous.
Share my workflow, and guess what? I don't even have to fire up DaVinci Resolve. Nice one.
So welcome to TimeBolt office hours on May 23rd.
Look, I know it's not whiz-bang, but now the key information that needs to be seen by customers, product marketing, management does, and it'll all be because you spent the time to watch this video. TimeBolt is a Swiss Army knife of workflows. Every workflow you see here is a one-to-one record to edit speed. I take you through how to record, run automations, cut or keep any scene or word, enhance what you keep, and how to stitch on a preview teaser. Plus a bonus CapCut workflow where I render mark clips into a folder, drop those into CapCut in sequential order, I can add some effects, and now have a short to drive traffic to the main video on YouTube. This entire tutorial was recorded, cut, and stitched together from multiple videos and chaptered for YouTube entirely in TimeBolt. You need to record in constant frame rate. To do this, all you do is go to Preferences, you're gonna set them in Zoom. When you go to the recording tab, select Enable for Third-Party Editor. Now, if you didn't enable for Third-Party Editor, that's okay. After you add your Zoom recording, go into TimeBolt and click File Doctor and run it, okay? If variable frame rates are detected, you simply click Yes to convert to constant frame rate. When it's done analyzing, the file will auto-push into TimeBolt as constant frame rate and your timeline edits applied to the new file. No big deal, click File Doctor. Now for the fun stuff. I load my Zoom recording into TimeBolt. This is our weekly live office hours. In all of 13 seconds, I just jump cut an hour of live Zoom recordings. Any duration or file size you can put into TimeBolt. Your timelines are split into 45-minute chunks for easier editing, but will still output as a single file. Click Next Chunk so that you can edit the remaining parts of your timeline. Silence is in red. It's what is detected and skipped, so it's like it never even happened. What's kept is in green. But what I first do is make sure that my silence detection settings are correct and then run any automations. Scan your timeline. And as you can see right here, there is audio. It looks like it's getting cut off from the front of a word. How you fix that? The only setting is filter below sound level. You want to test between -30 to -42 dB. Typically, TimeBolt guesses this correct. For something like this, do -35. Hit Update Silence Detection Settings, and as you can see, it no longer clips the front of that word. If you have a question about what these settings do, you can click this little question mark. A video pops up and tells you what it's about. You really don't need to touch any of these settings other than dB level, maybe, especially on a live Zoom call. Now, as you're scrolling through the timeline, you're likely gonna find spots like this where you see audio and it's like, why did TimeBolt detect that? That's because of this ignore detection shorter than setting at 0.75. You wanna leave it at 0.75. It's designed to catch random mic strikes, coughs, ums, and ahs. It's surprisingly effective. To be able to hear what it actually is cutting, like, that was inconsequential relative to the conversation.
But then okay.
Anybody that's
It's remarkable. Once you cut that stuff out, you're really making your video much more watchable for YouTube. Again, all that is automated. It's re-chunks. You're not dealing with 1,000 cuts, and it just skips like it never even happened in preview. Now, if you happen to get your settings all screwy and you did go around and mess with left padding, right padding, and you want to get back to where it was at, just hit reset to default values and it will reset. If you make any changes, you must click Update Silence Detection Settings to implement those changes. And now that my settings are correct, I'm going to run my automations, which is Umcheck, by clicking here. Click Start Audio Transcription. With Umcheck, you get 3 free trials. Multiple languages are supported. You can purchase a bank of credits. I believe it's 50 cents for every 10 minutes of video processed. Now, once Umcheck transcribes your video, you can add any unique word, tick, or phrase. We do all the processing local on the computer, so this is a very smart investment for long, unscripted Zoom video. Turn off selected words. Now, after I turn off the filler, you can see here, I'm saving 20 minutes of life for every one of my viewers. And I boosted words per minute from a snooze fest 177 words per minute to 231 when I apply turbo. And we typically see filler making up 10% of an unscripted timeline, which is a huge amount. You've learned to record, run automations. After Umcheck, 85% of the work is done for you. And now let's fine-tune cuts with keys USOB. No, I'm not calling you that. The first thing I do before I fine-tune, I put preview at 1.5x speed. There is absolutely no reason to be watching your video back at 1x speed. And to see how this works, I click spacebar.
Nice. I bought it.
And I start previewing at 1.5x. Make sure you click the space bar and not this little play button. That will take way too long. We're just gonna start pressing keys with me. Space bar.
Configured by somebody else for me to just go in and make a bunch of changes.
2020.
Sometimes your Zoom call isn't gonna start till a couple minutes in. You've got a lot of back and forth banter. You don't have to undo all of those and click all those and turn them red. Simply click Shift plus B, okay, which is a back cut, and it back cuts all the previous content up to the point you want it to start, as you can see here. Shift plus B. Sure, you can go in and click above the playhead to turn a scene off or to turn a scene on, but why would you do that? It's going to take you entirely too long, okay? A light bulb will go off in your head once you learn to press the keys USOB. Remember that, USOB, folks. Just press the keys. U jumps back, unwinds 3 spots, so you don't have to remember where you let off or hit a space bar and then scroll back to, I wonder what came before this cut, right? U. Let's say I have to cut out the middle of a word, S. It creates a split, okay? Put S right here, and now all of a sudden I've got 2 splits, okay? O will turn the existing scene off. See, look, my hands are up. We're pressing keys, not clicking a mouse, okay? O will turn the scene to the right off, okay? I'll go back, and if I wanted to cut this piece out, I would hit B. So USOB, B is a back cut. So as I'm going through, I can turn off large swaths of content with O, right? I can hold it down.
Can't recall if you're actually, do you have your camera?
And let's say I'm listening to something and I didn't like what I just heard.
Well?
I do. I switch in between live video.
So let's say I didn't like what I just heard. I'm listening to it.
Well?
I do. I switch in
I
between
don't
live
like
video
that.
and I switch in
I
between
don't have
live
to
video
stop the
and
playhead.
PowerPoint.
Did you see that? It automatically cut that. Here, I'll do that same to this next section. I'm listening to it. I don't want it.
With OBS,
I hit B. I don't even have to
capture
stop the
a higher
playhead. It back cuts. It's an extremely useful key. For a list of keyboard shortcuts, go here. We have a lot of functionality inside these keys. It's worth learning. It can save you huge amounts of time. The USOB keys are a game changer. Until you press these keys, you won't understand the true speed of TimeBolt. And as I cut on the first pass, as I'm ginsuing up my timeline, I enhance what I keep with punch, chapters, and turbo mode. The expectation is you edit everything once on your first pass. When I need to draw the eye in, I use punch.
Better information?
Sure.
I'm blaming it on.
You can go slow and right click and say I want to punch in 50% and then right click again and show where the focus area, or we're here to learn how to go fast. And so instead, I'm just going to press P on my keyboard. I hit P 3 times and it just resets punch. I then use Alt or Option in the arrow key to show where the focus area is. And now as I scroll through, I don't even have to stop the playhead. Watch, I won't even stop the playhead. It just allows us, it maintains your last punch coordinates, so it's super fast to get in on a subject and stay in on it with a single press of a key like this.
Because every time, just by coincidence, I shut it down and I no longer had the problem with anything.
Now, if I just want to reset, I click P 3 times, P, P, P. And as you see, it resets and then starts the process over again.
Working with TimeBolts. I'm using it
I
quite
don't even have
extensively
to
now.
stop the
Haven't had any
playhead.
problems.
Great. And that's right. You're making tutorial. Well,
If you need to change the zoom amount, right now I have it set at 125, 150, and 200. I simply go to settings, set my custom zoom variables right here, and then click done. And on the first pass, if you hear a new topic, you simply right click and you type in custom chapter names. They show up as a star. To delete it, you're just gonna delete the text. This way, when we export, the text file is formatted to just copy and paste right into the description of YouTube. This alone will save you the time of having to watch your video again. When I get to the end of the timeline, I hit next chunk. It's gonna pull up the next 45 minutes. So by the time I get to the end of my timeline, my main source file is ready to save. I'm ready to export. So I wanna save my JSON file. I just save my project. I click Save Timeline Cuts. You can go straight to the file by simply clicking this. It's underlined and linked. And as you see, a JSON is simply a lightweight text file that contains cut instructions. So when I use that term, that's what I mean. It's a simple lightweight file. It just tells the software where to make cuts. This way, now that my timeline is saved, if I need to reopen the file, I simply drop it back into TimeBolt, get my cuts back. I hit Apply Timeline Cuts, select my JSON file. Here's my JSON file, and as you can see, my previous edits are saved and applied. Now, if I don't plan on doing a teaser, I'm just ready to finish off this workflow. You simply go activate turbo mode. Who doesn't want to talk 12% faster, 1.125x? Before I hit export, I download the chapters text file. As you can see, these are the chapters text file that I'm going to copy and paste into YouTube. After I downloaded chapters text file, I hit export video. And I can do all that while recording in TimeBolt. But if this video is for a wider audience on YouTube, or it's like got important information that the boss needs to understand, stick around. You're about to learn how to make a teaser video, which is the ultimate FOMO tool on YouTube and quite frankly, movies today. I will show you how to combine markers and stitch together a teaser, click and render the entire video faster than you can record it. This is where TimeBolt shines. As I'm previewing the timeline and I hear something important,
looking for how do we get AI is
I click M and that adds a marker. I keep going.
killing us. Ready. As far as teaching is concerned, we now have avatars and stuff. We need a competitive edge to stay ahead of getting courses out quicker. And
Add M. So let's say I wanted to remove a marker. I just click M again, and that would remove the marker. And as I add markers on the first pass, I go ahead and put punch because it's going to be able to draw the eye in at the critical moment of when you're doing some type of teaser and preview video showing people what's coming up. So
AI is killing us. Ready. As far as
I'll hit P for punch, Alt Option, arrow key.
teaching is concerned, we now have avatars and stuff. We need a competitive edge to
I
stay
don't even
ahead
have to
of
stop the
getting courses
playhead.
out quicker. And I don't know how you guys have done it, because if you're not using AI, except for like, I know I understand the Umcheck, but I'm like,
I always find the punch, it just gives your teaser in short, that's something extra. When I reach the end of the timeline, I'm done. I'm gonna save the timeline cuts. That saves as a JSON file. I'm gonna rename this to main timeline so I know which JSON to apply and stitch. It's at this point that I wanna consolidate the cuts. I click keep only mark cuts to isolate the cuts. It'll tell me I can only get out of this by doing a Command Z. Once I click keep only mark cuts, I hit shift plus down arrow key to get to the beginning of my timeline, and I hit space bar to preview the minute and 7 seconds that I have isolated as mark cuts.
fight over devices. It's about 98. I've been close to a day to film, edit, and then do.
Now, let's say that I want to be able to remove a marker at this stage and I don't want it to be in my teaser reel. I can't just hit M right here, okay? What I want you to do is you hit Command Z, as it told you at the prompt. That's going to bring back our timeline, our main timeline, and you hit marker to remove the marker, and now you say keep only mark cuts, and now that mark cut was removed. At this stage, I could save a JSON and show you how to apply a JSON for the teaser, but I wanna go ahead, because this is a Zoom video or any type of video call, just go ahead and add that little bit something extra and put some background audio to it. So I go select audio file, put it 35% or 30% of the background audio. It's at this stage, I go activate turbo mode. We're gonna talk 12% faster, and I simply do export video. And this will export so fast because it's just consolidating the cuts, and it's a Zoom recording or a meetings recording, the same principle. But it'll really give your coming up video that little bit something extra with the background audio. Simply open it up. I'm gonna rename it so I know when I'm putting it in Stitch which one it is. Make sure to call it a teaser. If by some chance you wanna find where it did put your file, you can always go right here, hit render queue, and it'll open back up the file path that you can just double click. It saves a lot of time. Now, it's at this time I wanna stitch my files together. Of course, I'm gonna put in the teaser preview as the first one. Second one, I add my raw Zoom file. And now at this time, I wanna apply that JSON file to the main timeline because this has all the cuts. And so I can preview what's coming up.
Welcome to TimeBolt office hours on January 9th, 2024.
As you can see, it starts with the cut. and this starts with the teaser. If you work for a company, you might just want to add an outro video, have something for the company. You can also do this for an intro. And so this is my outro video that'll play at the end. So I go back to the main timeline. I want to activate turbo mode because I also want to talk 12% faster there. Now I have my teaser, my main timeline with the JSON file and my outro video. Now I go to export video. It automatically calculates the frames per second. On Zoom, it's 25 frames per second. It's at this time I want to download my chapter's text file. It opens up and you can save it to the same folder as your other source files. I hit save, and now I hit export video. Live office hours, save, and now start rendering. And the end result is a video that you would watch yourself on YouTube.
New user, I'm loving it. It's saving me so much time. Founder, but social media, not my jam as a millennial. My mentor said, you've got to make it your jam. I did it like I started it 20 minutes ago, filmed it, edited it, and now I'm just adding the subtitle. Very efficient. I was using, what was I using before? Instagram, just the reels, like in the program, trying to cut. It was nightmare. I've used TikTok, nightmare. And I've made 2 videos and my second one's already incrementally better. Then I went on YouTube and I saw a girl, you know.
Vendy, Steinberger.
So I went and I immediately bought like both the programs she used. It was a really good video, and please don't raise your prices right now because I'm a baby founder, but it's a very good value proposition for, I don't know why people wouldn't, cheap, I guess, or stupid.
Yeah. Welcome to TimeBolt office hours on Thursday.
And now we've got a bonus, the CapCut workflow. Because as this main file is rendering, I take the clips in the highlight reel and export them into CapCut. You only get this with TimeBolt. The speed is unbeatable. Here it is coming up next. Now back in TimeBolt, if Keep Only Marked Cuts is not selected, I want you to click that now so that just your teaser clips are selected. But how I export is the secret sauce. I'll hit Activate Turbo Mode. And so right now, if we go back to our video, you will see that the mark duration is 1 minute and 5 seconds. Let's say I wanted to keep that at a minute. I could go activate turbo mode, put this at 60 seconds, or I could just add a speed multiplier of 1.125x. And just as simple as it can be, you hit these 3 dots and you do export clips to a folder. I go to where my Zoom demo is, I click new folder and put shorts for YouTube. Create, select folder, and start rendering. And now once it's done rendering, each cut is rendered as an individual clip with speed and punch values baked in. That's a TimeBolt exclusive. I don't know of any other software that allows you to do it this way, and it's gonna pay off big when you drop these as cut clips into CapCut. Next, I open CapCut, create a project. I'm gonna import those clips. And so these clips are laid out in sequential order. I simply select all, import, and I drag this all in to my timeline. And as you can see, it's under 1 minute. Before I edit anything in this, I change this to a 3x4 or a 9x16 so that I can just go ahead and resize it all at once. And the advantage of having these all cut up by clips this way, it's super easy now to go in and add transitions. All this stuff can be done absolutely free inside CapCut. You don't have to sit there and cut up your timeline anymore.
Edit, and then do all of my creative stuff.
And it's super easy to just do auto captions. And you'd be surprised at how much more accurate these captions come out, where you're not having to sit there and drag handle where a word ends or begins, because these are all cut up essentially as sentences and complete thoughts without the 35% of a timeline that doesn't need to be there. By the time I'm done with this project, I've simply added a logo, I've corrected and did some things with the captions, and I added some background audio, and now I've got a perfectly watchable video short that I can upload to YouTube and help drive traffic to the main video, which we edited earlier. My goal with these courses is to improve your productivity and effectiveness with video communications across the board. As I create more learning courses for Pillar Workflows, I'm gonna place the links right here, and I'm out of time.